Hello, everyone. Before we get into the video, there was some terrible news earlier this week that rocked the football world. Diogo Jota and Andre Silva both passed away very, very suddenly. Here at Eagle Eye Football, we just want to send our condolences, our well wishes, and our thoughts and prayers to everyone affected, their family, their friends, former colleagues, and we hope that they can find peace. Thank you.
WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top flight journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish out bright future we can't vanish. SE25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions, fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when Eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Transfer Weekly. This is where we talk about various rumours for Crystal Palace transfers. If you haven't seen any of the other ones, I highly suggest you go and watch them. They're very insightful and they give a good roundup of what's going on in the summer. First up, we have JC.
Conwinta. He is a 23-year-old Belgian centre-back that can also play right-back that currently plays for Genoa. Currently, he is linked with Crystal Palace, Inter Milan, Tottenham Hotspur, Porto, Benfica, West Ham, and he is a right-footed player. He is a player that can play right centre-back in a back four and a back three system. He can also play that centre-back role in a back three system as well, but with his ability to flex into that right-back role, he can also play as a right back in a four back system. He wouldn't be able to complete the wing back role at right wing back, but he can definitely do a job at right back. He's 6'3", he's got really good ball control, and he's very confident on the ball. He's very good at dribbling forwards, he's able to pick a pass out of a tight situation, and when he actually goes forwards, he's able to dribble around people with, sharp turns and intricate passing with a little bit of flair and skill involved in it as well. He has got a good range of passing, don't get me wrong. He's able to do short passing, side to side, long passing where he can get the ball in behind or drop the ball into the pockets in between the defenders and the midfielders for the opposition team, and he's very good at breaking the lines on the floor of a very low driven pass. The only issue I would say of his passing, his long passing, he's not really good at the extra long passing where he can complete a diag from one side of the pitch to the other and potentially actually picking up the ball from the goalkeeper and putting the ball in behind for the forwards to run onto. He hasn't actually got enough gas in his feet to actually get the ball lofted and make the ball travel as much as he needs to actually complete those kind of passes. But he has got a good age behind him, only being 23 years old, but he has got a decently long contract. Contract is currently up until 2028 and he is currently valued at 22 million euros on Transfermarkt. Because of his age, because of the contract that he's under, and because of some of the talk that's actually going on in social media and in the regular media, it looks like he's going to be worth 25 to 30 plus million pounds. Honestly, for a player like that, that's not actually that bad. They've got a lot of time ahead of them. They're really good on the ball. They've got some really amazing attributes as a centre back, but there are some glaring issues. First up, injuries. Yes, Crystal Palace do have an injured player, but my god, this guy is injured. So, let's not get too gassed. Let's go through it a little bit. So, he has been playing professional football since the 21-22 football season. Since then, he has missed 45 games in those 5 seasons, which equivalates to 261 days of football. So that's not including off season, that's during the season. He has missed 261 days. 45 games is basically a season and a quarter. That's not good enough. And bearing in mind, he's only been playing for 5 seasons, too many injuries, too big of a price tag, and already after this alone, yes, he is a very good player. He has got good attributes, but a price tag like this, For with those kind of injuries, I would stay as far away from this player as possible. But, you know, you guys can make your own decisions. Let's go into this a little bit further. So this season alone, he's only had 26 appearances in all competitions with 24 starts, 3 goals, which is really, really good for a centre-back. Same as Mark and Calabria for us this season. 7 yellow cards and 8 clean sheets. Honestly, that's not too bad, you know. It's 1 clean sheet every 3.25 games, roughly. But, you know, it's decent, but it's not great. And to be fair, if you're spending that kind of money on a player, even if they are injured, you're expecting big things when they do actually play football. Obviously, he is a very young, talented player with a lot of promising attributes, like I said, but in addition to that, he's also got composure. He's very strong. He is also very pacey as well. But the main thing for him, he has got an elite positioning when it comes to defending crosses. He's always in the right place. He always knows where to put the ball, whether he knows there's people behind him, so you put it out for a goal kick, whether you nod it out for a throw-in, or whether you can actually get a hold of it and, you know, head it to yourself and head it down and then pass out and play out from the back. His position, he's always in the right place, and he's very big, very tall, and he can actually get on top of quite a lot of those balls going through the air. So, you know, that part of his game is elite when you're defending and you're trying to do everything you can to retain that point or to maintain your win. So he is elite at those kind of things, but once again, is the price tag too high for someone that's this injured? The only other thing that I would say is, other than great player, he really struggles to use his weaker foot, his left foot. You know, there's been times where there's been an easy pass with his left foot, but he's just not done it. He's taken an extra touch, or he's tried to hit the ball with a trivela on his right foot just so that he can actually pass the ball. You know, he's really not confident on that left-hand side, and I feel like that is some way opposition will definitely find him out very quickly if he can only use that right foot. Yes, we've had players that are really one-footed, but as a centre-back, yes, Lacroix is right-footed, but he can pass with his left foot. Same thing with Richards. And to be fair, I think for De Winter to come into the Premier League to any team, he needs to work on that left foot. But overall, for De Winter, good player, price is too high, and if the price is that much and we're considering it, why not add the extra few million for Diamonde? European experience, incredible player, 2 years younger, and just a beast all round.
Thank you, JC. Now we have Nate.
Yes, people, it's that time of the week again, and I'm here today to talk about Croatian left-back Bora Sosa, who currently plays for Ajax in the Eredivisie, but last season spent time on loan at Italian club Torino in Serie A. Now, as of the time I'm recording this, because I did actually record a first video earlier this week, but wasn't happy with it, so this is a re-record. We've actually submitted a bid of £4 million for the Croatian left-back. Now, I have heard from a good friend of mine that this isn't actually that good a deal, but I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the player, and if the club and Glasner want him, then there's clearly something there for us to get excited about. So, the first question you'll probably ask me is, who is Bora Sosa and why are Crystal Palace interested in him? Well, as I mentioned at the top of the video, he's a Croatian international who plays at left back and would be a very interesting addition to the squad, as it would also provide a bit of cover and competition for Tyrick Mitchell in that left wing back position. Now, am I going to sit here and say that I've studied hours and hours of footage of him and I'm going to wax lyrical about how great he is? No, I'm not going to do that. But for the price that we've apparently managed to agree a deal for, I think there's an element of this may be one of those underrated signings that people look at and go, how did they get him for $4 million? More importantly, folks, if there is a deal to be done, it looks like this one could be the first to get done this week. Now, obviously, a lot of people, myself included, were more interested in us trying to lure El Hadj Malik Juf from Slavia Praha to Crystal Palace. But it looks like West Ham, once again, have listened to what players we're in for and decided, wait a minute, Palace want that guy. Okay, we'll bring him in. But bear in mind, the last few times they've done that, those deals haven't worked. Looking at you, Flynn Downs. But no, seriously, folks, like you know, whenever you get a Transfer Weekly video of me, I'm not going to sit here and just put filler in the video for the sake of it. Neither am I going to cut it short just because there's nothing else to talk about. At 27 years of age, he's in the peak of his career, so we're definitely, hopefully, going to see him be a very valuable addition to the squad in the upcoming 25-26 season. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's a possible 3 to 4 year deal. Logically, you'd look at a 3 year deal because you don't really want to be giving a player a deal going into, their early 30s. Maybe the club feel like he can go that far and be a good option for us. But yeah, there you have it. Bora Sosa, Crystal Palace, £4 million, or I think it's €4 million. So it's about £2 million, which is crazy to get a player for that kind of money, especially from the Dutch league. Because the last time we signed a player from Ajax, we didn't get him for £2 million. Jairo Riedewald, for those of you who don't remember. But yeah, folks, I'm not necessarily going to drag it out any further, nor am I going to try and just wing my way through this. Bora Sosa, 27-year-old left back, on his way to Crystal Palace. Medical to be finalised, deal to be finalised, but it looks like Palace have successfully negotiated a £2 million deal for him. So it remains to be seen. Is this a good deal? Is this a bad deal? Is it a good bit of money? Is it a waste of money? All will be revealed once the done deal is confirmed. Anyway, folks, it's your boy Nate, Eagle Eyed Football. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Up the Palace.
Thank you, Nate. Next up, Nicky.
Right, so this week I'm talking about Tyler Dibbling, the young 19-year-old winger who currently plays for Southampton, who just last season were relegated back down to the Championship. Dibbling, as I said, 19 years old, so that brings a huge amount of prospect and promise for his just burgeoning career. He has made just several appearances at the international level, having scored 5 times at under 16s, under 17s, and under 19s level, and has represented England across all 5 of the England stages that he is representable. He has spent the last 10 years at Southampton, having become one of their huge academy prospects, making his debut professionally in the Championship in August 2023, having then scored a few months later in January 2024 for the club, and then in their Premier League season. Made his debut straight away in a 1-0 defeat against Newcastle, and then just the month later, he would score his first professional goal in a 1-1 draw against Ipswich Town. Currently valued, according to transfermarket.co.uk, at around about €25 million, which according to current times, translates to £21.5 million. I think that is extremely cheap. But knowing Southampton and with the prospect that Dibbling represents, they will be looking at around about 30, maybe even 35 plus million pounds for a club to secure his services. Having said that, could he then maybe cause some ructions internally in forcing a move? He could do. But Palace and Dibbling, there's been very, very little to say about Palace and Dibbling. Probably just a fact that he was scouted by Dougie Freedman and his scouting staff before Dougie left the club, or perhaps it's Glasner who's had a look and wants to just keep him on a short list of players who could potentially be brought in. Dibbling, as I said, 19 years old, so he's still able to represent Palace even at the academy level, where he could feature there and gain experience with the coaching staff at that level and soak up more experience in Premier League 2 and in the EFL Trophy. At the Premier League level, he could possibly feature for us as he would be a country-trained player, and therefore being under the age of 21 could feature as an unfeatured player for Europe as well. So there is an added bonus for that. He wouldn't technically count towards our registration statuses. Also, would he fit in Glasner's system? Yes. At that age, you are able to be molded into and fit into any system. I think with the right mindset and the right know-withal, Dibbling could easily feature inside Glasner's tactical system of using wing backs to support wingers. Dibbling's also able to move out in towards the 10 as well. So we could see him move from the bench and replace maybe Ismail Assar or Bera Eze if he doesn't go to Arsenal. Please don't go to Arsenal. Please. Anyway, back on subject. Dibbling would definitely feature for me. In my opinion, I think he would be a great capture for Palace, certainly in terms of just keeping that average age down and keeping us, just keeping a promising backups there for Palace, so we can rely upon youth, but also experience as well. It's just the price tag. It's just the price tag. Would Palace be willing to pay upwards of 35 million pounds for a 19-year-old? I don't know. I don't know. I would certainly hope so. But Dibbling has certainly garnered a lot of attention from other clubs as well, so we could see a fight on our hands should a bid be triggered from anywhere. I think a lot of clubs will certainly be in for him. But that's all I've got on Tyler Dibbling. Hopefully you are enjoying this episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed listening to me drone on for yet another week. Enjoy the episode and up the Palace.
Thank you very much, Nicky. And now the penultimate section of the video. I'll be talking about Davide Calabria. Originally, we were meant to be talking about Kajust, who played for Ipswich on loan from Napoli last season, but it looks like he is having a medical at Besiktas and will likely go there. So for that reason, I've decided to choose someone else that we are interested in. So who is he? He's a right back who's been contracted to AC Milan for his entire career, although last season he did go on loan to Bologna, winning the Coppa Italiana, a team in red and blue Macron, winning a domestic trophy. Sound familiar? But his contract has now run down, and he is a free agent, so we are looking to get him on a free transfer. He has a lot of experience. He's played a lot for AC Milan and was actually their captain at one point through a very difficult period for them, or difficult by their standards. And he has a lot of European experience as well. He has 21 Champions League appearances, 19 Europa League appearances. In addition to that, he's capped by Italy, and he's also played for their youth setups as well. I think this is really important for us. We don't have a lot of players who have European experience. Off the top of my head, the only ones that do are Chris Richards with Bayern, Nathaniel Klein, who probably wouldn't play anyway, with Liverpool, Maxence Lacroix with Wolfsburg, Daniel Munoz with Genk, and Ismail Assar with Marseille. But he's a right back, obviously played in all those positions, and I think the experience is such an important thing for us, because if we do start off the league phase not so well, then I think we're going to need that experience to kind of G ourselves up and just put us back on the right path. Or if we're having a tough game, again, that we try to collect ourselves and try and get back to where we are playing the way that we can. Or additionally, if we are holding on to a lead against a good side, you're going to need that experience to help you see out that game. He's currently 28 years old, although he will be 29 in December, so he is very much in his prime. In terms of his play, he's solid defensively. He will likely cover that right wing-back role for Daniel Munoz. Do I think he's necessarily better than Daniel Munoz in that role? I don't think so necessarily, but to be honest, I think we're going to need to rotate a lot and we're going to need a lot of depth. So I think he will play in that right wing back role, and in a pinch he could probably play that right centre back role as well. And also in a pinch he has played left back in the past, although albeit not left wing back. But again, he is defensively solid, and he's actually pretty good in attack as well. Although he doesn't have many goals or assists, he does have a lot of shot creating actions. And is quite, for last season for Bologna, he ranked quite highly. In fact, his percentile shot creating actions for Bologna last season. So this is for fullbacks in the top 5 leagues. He was in the top 10% of the top 5 leagues, and he has a lot of progressive passes as well, where he ranks in the top 12%. So he's very much in the mould of that Oliver Glasner sort of player, and because he was also captain as well, it's noted that he works very hard. And I think with that role where you're going to have to get up and down that pitch all of the time, you're going to need someone with that engine. The only downside I think to him is that he does have a lot of injuries. He has 2 pages worth of injuries, which I'll put on the screen now, on transfer mark. So he is prone to injury. But to be honest, I don't think is that impactful. And the reason why I say this is that let's say we've got 48 games to play minimum this season. Even if he only plays 18 of them, say, so like some cup games or the European games or whatever, or even some midweek Premier League games, then he's given that load away from Daniel Munoz. If we do go in for this move as well, I guess there will be a knock-on effect to Kaporha, who I'd imagine will probably go on loan. And Calabria will then very much be that backup wing-back, I believe. I know Nathaniel Klein has played there, but to be honest with you, I actually thought Kaporha was better than Klein when he did play there. But overall, I think it is a good signing. Realistically, we need the depth. And I think if we're using smart transfers, free transfers as well, like this one, I think we can then save our money and then go all out on, say, like a Diamande or another attacker. But overall, I would be happy with this, even if it is just to give Munoz a bit of competition and a bit of an opportunity to have a bit of a rest. Although I know he does have a ridiculous engine, but I'm happy with this. It's a free transfer. The wages will probably be a bit higher than you expect because they can go to you and say, well, you're not paying a transfer fee, so we would like to see a bit more in terms of wages. But I think it's a smart decision. And then when we're also looking at Bora Sosa on the left-hand side as well, it's 2 cover wing backs, very, very important positions in the Glasner side. And we're doing that for very cheap. I think that really is the right way to go. Anyways, thank you very much for listening to my section. And now we will listen to Rich.
Big up everyone. Hope you're doing well. And here are a few updates regarding Palace and this transfer window. Let's start off with Jez Ratsaki. Now, Alan Nixon has reportedly put out that Rangers are interested in Ratsaki and taking him as a permanent signing. However, because Palace are looking to value him around £10 million, Rangers believe they can do this for a lower deal, and if not, they're going to look to loan the player instead. Now, Ratsaki, he obviously spent last season on loan at Sheffield United. Had a bit of a mixed season, started well, had a few injuries, and then wasn't really featuring towards the back end of the season. The question is, will he stay a Palace player? I don't think he will. Obviously, we've also signed Romain Esse, and there's links to other forwards in that position. So I do believe that he will end up leaving Palace. The question is, where will he go? So yeah, that's to do with Rangers and potentially going for Jez Ratsaki. Next up, Owen Goodman. Now, he had a very, very successful loan spell at AFC Wimbledon last season, which also led to playoff promotion as well, which was a great achievement for him. And he has secured a season-long loan to League One side Huddersfield Town. So obviously we wish him all the best. And on the back of that, regarding the academy keepers, I believe Exeter are looking to also re-sign Joe Whitworth on loan, but that hasn't gone through as of yet. Next up, Eberechi Eze. Now, David Ornstein a couple of days ago had confirmed that Arsenal strongly want to bolster their attack and they strongly would like Ebbs to join them. There has been no contact yet with Eze. There have been other rumours regarding agreed terms and personal terms and stuff like that. That hasn't been confirmed as of yet. But there are strong links, and I think Martin Odegaard potentially has picked up a serious ankle injury and may require ankle surgery. which means they've got a big hole to fill in the middle of that park. As we know, Ebbs can play as a sole 10, but he spent a lot of his time playing as a left inside 10 and also a left winger for England. And it's going to be difficult to keep hold of him. Obviously, we're very grateful for everything he's done, but that will be a very difficult player to keep hold of with the Champions League sides that are interested. And it's not only Arsenal, Tottenham were interested, but have withdrawn their interest in him because of the Arsenal bid. Not bid, but interest. And also Bayern Munich. And now that obviously Musiala has picked up a very severe ankle injury, maybe they might come back in for Ebbs. Right, lastly, Mark Guehi. Now, obviously, we know that there's been strong interest from Liverpool. Liverpool in themselves are obviously fighting a battle regarding Ibrahim Konate. Both Konate and Guehi are going into the last year of their contract, so if they decide to stay in this season, when the window closes, then they will both be free to leave on free transfers next season. But reports, starting off with Fabrizio Romano, he had mentioned that Liverpool remain high on Mark Guehi's list as a new centre-back. Not the only option, but contacts continue. And then Nicolo Schira, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, has said that agreement in principle between Mark Guehi and Liverpool for a contract until 2030, so they'll make it a 5-year deal. And that Mark Guehi is pushing to join Liverpool. And so lastly, they're obviously in contact with Arsenal Palace regarding the deal. Now, rumours have it that they're looking to bid, I believe, 30 or 35 million, whereas we're trying to hold out for anything that's close to 50 million. Part of that obviously is also because if the rumours are true, with Diamande, that Sporting want around 45-50 million pounds themselves. So it might just be a case of we lose Guehi for 45-50, we buy Diamande for 45-50 million. So that brings you up to date with all the current updates. Take you back to Transfer Weekly.
Thank you very much, Rich, for those updates. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching these Transfer Weeklies. If you haven't watched any of the previous ones, please do, because we put a lot of work into them and they give a really nice summary of what has been happening over the summer. It has been a bit quiet recently, but I would imagine once what's figured out with Europe is figured out, then I think we'll start to see a lot of things materialise. Anyways, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. See you later. Bye.